Hi folks, in this video, we're going to take a look at how to make a line graph by hand and also how to make a line graph on StatCrunch, okay? So in a survey, 40 people were asked how many times a year they had their car in the shop for repairs. The results are shown in the table. Construct a line graph. All right, so what we have here, we have number of times in the shop, 0, 1, 2, and 3, and then how many times those happened. So the frequency. Right? So 7 people said they never had to take their car to the shop, the lucky people. Whereas 10 people said they had to take it to the shop 1 time, and 14 people said they had to take it twice, and 9 people said they had to take it 3 times, okay? And so the way that we make a line graph, we're gonna go ahead and set up our X and Y axes. All right, so we've got axis. Whoops, that's not very perpendicular. Let's try that again. Okay. And so on the x-axis, we have the number of times in the shop. And then on the y-axis, we have our frequency, like how many times did that happen? Right? And so the way I'm going to label the x-axis, I'm going to have, well, let's do it in a different color. We're going to have 0 and 1 and 2 and 3. So 1, 2, 3, and 0. And then the frequency, let's see, the highest is 14. So I'm going to go ahead and count 5, 10, 15. Okay. And I'm going to plot each point. So 0, 7, 1, 10. 2, 14, and 3, 9. Okay, so 0, 7, 1, 10, 2, 14, and 3, 9. And we have to connect them because it does say a line graph. And so the line comes from connecting the dots to each other. Okay. And so here we have a hand-drawn frequency graph. But as you can see, it's probably not as accurate as if I had plotted out like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way up to 15 and, made those dots a little bit nicer. So let's take a look at how StatCrunch can help us. So in StatCrunch, I've already gone ahead and typed in the values, all right? So we can see in this first column, we have 0, 1, 2, 3. And in the second column, we have 7, 10, and 14, and 9, okay? Now, here's the thing, though. I like to be able to keep track of what it is that I'm measuring. And so instead of where it says var1, I'm going to write number of times in the shop, okay? And I believe I can make that a little bit bigger so I can see exactly what it is. And then in variable 2, I'm going to have the frequency. All right. So I typed in my data points. Now to help use StatCrunch to help me draw a line graph, I'm going to go to graph. And you might look at this whole thing and say, I don't see where it says line graph. And that's okay. We actually want to go where it says scatter plot. All right, it's right between means plot and bubble plot. Go to scatter plot. We got to choose our X variable, which is number of times in the shop. Our Y variable is our frequency. And down where it says display, we don't want points. We want points and lines. Okay. Once we've got all that, we're going to go ahead and click compute. Bada bing, bada boom. We've got a frequency on the y-axis, number of times in the shop, and it looks pretty close to what we had in our hand-drawn one. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions.